So this was my lazy girl phase 6 months ago. And if the idea of staying in bed all day and just scrolling endlessly on your phone is the most tempting thing to you right now, chances are that you're also stuck in that phase. And I know it's hard, but you know what's harder is not being able to get out of that lazy person phase. That is why today I am sharing 10 tips, hacks, and changes that have helped me beat laziness and that will help you get out of the slump, get more productive, build more confidence, and just stay motivated to stay on track. Let's go. Number 1 is getting on a positive mental diet. Now, whenever you're in a slump like this, you will see that you are stuck in a negative thinking spiral. And those thoughts keep fueling your actions, and then those actions lead to more negative thoughts like doom scrolling or watching negative news, watching true crime documentaries, watching any sort of negative content, reading negative content. All of that keeps fueling that negative cycle. And you are also attracted to more of that content. So the first thing you want to do is break this cycle, because that allows our mind to get back in the zone of creativity and motivation and all of that. But how do you break it? Just simply by reintroducing more positive content in your field of view. So maybe picking up a book that is happy, positive, makes you feel joyous. Maybe watching a show that does that. Maybe watching more motivational videos. Putting a stop or like a pause to your doom scrolling. Unsubscribing to any channels that are fueling that negativity. Not watching true crime documentaries. All of that jazz, right? And the second thing here you want to do is surround yourself with more positive people. If that's not physically possible, just surround yourself with online people that are more positive in nature instead of ones who are just constantly badgering you about something in life. And when you do this, you will find that your thought process itself slowly starts to change. Now, the second thing you need to do after this is to raise your energy, which is basically changing things physically, making that decision quickly after you've elevated your mental space. So movements like yoga, dancing, going to the gym, anything that gets you out of the physical rut that you're in, even for 10 minutes a day, and gets your blood pumping. Actually, you know what? Working out is something that you need to incorporate in your life in this year. If you have not yet started working out, even after watching all of the content that I have been putting out last year, I need you to start doing that right now, right this second. Because research in neuroscience and mental health and physical health has shown that workout has so many benefits, it is not even funny. You want to improve your mindset, you want to improve your mental health, you want to improve your brain health, and you need to start working out for that. Because when you start doing it, it changes the ball game completely. A lot of the things that you're facing right now, you won't face because you started working out. Go, do it. So if there's only one thing you're taking away from this video, let this be it. You need to start working out pronto. Moving on to step number 3, which is hacking your environment. This basically means making your environment more conducive to what you want to do and less conducive for what you don't want to do. For instance, I find it very difficult to get out of my warm bed and go work out or go do something else in the winter months because it's very cold. I don't like to freeze and it's just very uncomfortable when it's cold outside, right? So this winter, what I basically started doing is making my home as warm as possible. There's a heater in every room. I switch it on before I even wake up, like the switch is right there next to my bed. This room has a heater which is still on. The living room has a heater, all of those. So all of the places are warm, right? And when I get out of the bed in the morning, it's not freezing and it doesn't boil my blood to do so. Second, I started wearing the right clothes. Now, I'm the kind of person who doesn't like layering a lot because it makes me feel suffocated. So I invested in good warmers from Uniqlo. I invested in warmer outerwear. So even with just 2 layers right now, it makes me feel like I'm not going to feel cold. And I started wearing socks. So these are like the little changes I did to make action for myself more conducive and to make inaction less conducive. Because if I'm sleeping with socks in the bed, I will get so warm after a point I will have to take off the razai, right? So you basically want to do things that make your environment more conducive to be productive and less conducive to not be productive. Things like keeping your workout clothes visible the night before, putting out everything you need for the next morning the night before, cleaning out your work desk, decluttering your area. All of those things just help you achieve this better. So figure out what it is that you need to do and then change those things in your environment, make it more conducive, to not being lazy. Number 4, and this I think is the most actionable piece of advice when trying to get out of laziness, is to shock your system, right? Sometimes the only way out of a slump is brute force, which is just using every ounce of willpower you have and doing that thing as a challenge. So oftentimes what happens in a slump is that your rut, the state that you're in during your rut, becomes the comfortable thing to do. And even though you continue to feel worse and worse as the days pass by, it just becomes more and more comfortable to stay in this space rather than to get up and take action, right? So this is where you need that shock sort of thing to be able to break out of it. And the best way to do this is to gamify the process and turn everything you want to do into a challenge, right? So if you are somebody who has been consistently sleeping late for 6 months on end and you're not able to do anything about it, give yourself a challenge to just wake up early for 1 week. That automatically just pulls your body out of whatever bullshit is going on in your life. Another thing, if you're online all the time on your phone, give yourself a challenge of not touching your phone for 1 week when you wake up and replacing that with reading instead. When you give yourself a challenge, your brain kind of wants to fulfill it and wants to get successful, because we are creatures who derive happiness from success. Our brain is automatically primed to do that. And when you give it a challenge, it automatically wants to win. Here's a list of a lot of other things that you can do to just shake up your routine if you are just stuck in a very comfort zone right now. Number 5, and this is also one of my favorites, is to focus on conquering one task every single day. Now, when you have been stuck in a period of laziness for a very long time, getting up and taking a lot of action all at once can feel like a very daunting task. Even though there are goals to be achieved and there's work to be done, if you just look at it all at once, it can feel so overwhelming, and then you go back and get back to your old, comfortable rut routine. So if that is the case with you, this hack can really help. Just pick one very small habit, like making your bed, or maybe cleaning out your desk every day, or stretching in bed before you wake up. Anything that is super small can be done in under 2 minutes, and then give yourself a 90-day timeline where you are going to get up and do that task every single day. Right? So if that is making your bed, you get up and you make your bed every single day for the next 90 days. It usually takes about 66 days to build a habit. 90 is you're giving yourself like buffer time. And when you do this, you're basically training your brain to get more disciplined, to get comfortable with building discipline. And because this is such a short task, in the moment, it does not seem like a lot of effort for your mind. So you're able to also stick with it. You can also try Mel Robbins high-fiving the mirror, right? So just wake up, high-five yourself in the mirror every single day for the next 90 days. And after that, you will find that it becomes a lot easier to do this, to apply this to even more difficult habits, and to do this consistently for any habit that you want to put it to use for. And when you do this one task for 90 days, you will find that your brain becomes a lot more primed to do more difficult habits, to achieve this sort of discipline for more difficult habits. And then it just becomes a flow, one habit after the other, till you become a habit master pro. Moving on to number 6, which is focusing on less is more. Like I said in the previous point, when you're trying to get out of a slump, which you have been in for a very long time, doing a lot of things together can feel really overwhelming. And most people actually make this mistake. They will try and get out of a laziness slump by scheduling 20 different things on their to-do list. And when they look at their to-do list, when they actually start to get down to work, they're like, oh my God, how the hell am I ever going to do this? And I don't want you guys to make this mistake, which is why when you are trying to get out of this, when you are getting out of this slump, I want you to focus on creating shorter to-do lists, not more than 3 to 5 tasks in a day. Prioritize very few things every single day till you build up the resilience to be able to tackle on more tasks during the day, right? So that is the aim. So you start with 2 tasks in a day, then you build up to 3 tasks in the week after, you build up to 5 tasks in the week after, and then eventually go up to however many tasks are required of you in a particular day. But when you start with less, you are able to carry on further and do it more consistently. Again, you're teaching your brain how to become disciplined. Moving on to step number 7, which is dressing for success. And this is such a great hack, and it is such like a game changer. Every time I've tried it, it has worked. So whenever you're feeling like down in the dumps, and this is especially for days when you just don't have the motivation, just get up and get dressed. You know, if you're a woman or a man also, you want to put on makeup, do that, put on your eyeliner, dress up in clothes that you feel comfortable in and clothes that you look good in. And that lifts your spirits like nothing else. Even if you don't have to go out that day, you know, just dressing up for yourself will make you feel so much better. It will give you that initial boost of motivation that you can then channel into any task that you want to tackle, right? Go ahead, try it. Which brings us to step number 8, which is scheduling your fun. I know I kind of sound like Monica Geller right now, but what I mean by this is that when we want to get out of a rut and when we are building back our routine, a good routine, oftentimes we can overschedule the things that we need to do and don't give enough time for the things that we want to do, things that bring us joy, things that make us happy, like our hobbies, maybe going out to a coffee shop to get a coffee, all of those things. We almost always forget to put those in our schedule, right? So whenever you're scheduling your week or when you're sitting down and creating this routine, make sure you actively put time for all of this stuff. Time for taking breaks, time for just doing nothing, time for scrolling on your phone. And what this allows you to do is do all of these things guilt-free without feeling like you are skimping on work, without feeling like you're not giving something your 100%. And that's always a better route to take rather than just doing these things anyway and then feeling guilty about them. Moving on to step number 9, which is embracing your imperfections. You did not come out of the womb and learn to read, write, play, move your body all in one single day or even in a matter of months, right? It took you years to learn something as simple as addition and subtraction, right? So what makes you think that when you are doing this routine task, when you're trying to get back on the wagon, when you're trying to build a routine or good habits, that is going to happen in a day or on your first try, right? As adults, I think we lose sight of the fact that it takes time to build change. It takes time to get to a place where you want to get to. And when we understand this, it actually prevents our motivation from reducing when we don't achieve the results we want to achieve in the first go. So if you are not able to stick to your entire routine for the first week of trying it, don't beat yourself up about it. Don't shame yourself. Don't guilt yourself. You can never guilt yourself into becoming a better person. So that is not what you want to do. Instead, you want to leave some leeway where you know that you're going to make these mistakes, you know that you're going to fall off the wagon. Just accommodate for those. When you're creating your schedule, instead of scheduling workouts for 7 days in the first week, do it for 3 days in the first week. Okay, if you can't even do 3 days, do it for 2 days in the week, and you know that this is what your capacity is right now. And let's say you schedule it for 2 days and you were not able to do 2 days, you were just able to do one day, that's okay. The next week is still there. As long as you're not dead, you have another chance to go at it again, to correct your mistakes, to learn from your mistakes, and then build on top of those, right? So embrace your imperfections. It's absolutely all right. We're all human. And with that, we come to the final step and the most important step, which is working on your mindset. So that after you've applied all of the 9 steps that we've spoken about, you can actually start to make lasting change. And it's not just a fleeting thing where you break out of laziness right now and then you go back to your old ways after that, right? The only true way to make lasting change is to work on your mindset. And how do you do this? First, by understanding your why. Why do you want to make a particular change in the first place, right? Why do you want to get out of this rut of laziness? What is it that is fueling that motivation? If that motivation is not strong enough, if that motivation is not clear enough, you are likely to go back to your old ways because that's your default setting. So I want you to take like 5 minutes out, write down what is motivating you to get out of this slump, to focus on one particular goal right now, to be able to go achieve that goal right now. What is that one thing that is fueling that desire? Write it down, stick it on a piece of paper, put it on the wall in front of you. So every time you are about to fall off the wagon, you are then able to take a look at that piece of paper and remind yourself why is it that you're doing what you're doing. The second thing I need you to do here is to stop believing that you are tougher for you guys. I am not going to lie. But does that mean that you should keep feeling sorry for yourself? Does that mean that you should not take a particular action, or you should react to a situation by feeling guilty and sorry for yourself because you're not able to achieve a particular goal? No, because when you do that, again, it fuels that cycle of negative thinking, keeps you stuck in that zone where you are unable to take action, where you feel paralyzed. So getting out of victim mentality, understanding that even though outside factors are not in your control, your response, your reaction is in your control. Understanding that fundamentally is so important for you to be able I don't say this lightly. Like every time I learn something more about the human mind, I am blown away by its potential. And each of us, me creating this video, you watching this video, have that potential inside of us. And if we are constantly staying stuck in that victim mentality, we are not even utilizing a fraction of that potential. And the final step of working on your mindset is to talk about these issues. When you get stuck in a laziness route, when you are stuck in a procrastinating zone, speak up about it, talk to the people around you about it. Hell, comment on this video and let other people know about it. Because when you talk about it, you realize that you are not suffering in this alone. You might just find a solution for yourself. You will definitely know that you're not alone in this. All right, so now before you sign off this video, I have some work that I need for you to do today. Because if you're struggling with laziness, we need to start taking action right now so you can get out of that slump, right? The first thing I want you to do is pick up a feel-good book and start reading it. And I'm not talking about fantasy novels or romance novels, although romance novels can be feel-good novels, but anything basically that puts you in that state of mind where you are happy, content, feel good with life, right? I really like to read Eat, Pray, Love. That kind of just keeps things going for me. Any other romance novels actually also work for me. I like chiclets as well because they're just, very happy, peppy novels. They put me in like a fun state of mind. Second thing I want you to do is go declutter one area in your house, preferably the one where you sit and work the most out of. Just remove any clutter out of there, clean up your desk, clean up that area wherever you're working. Whatever is not serving your any purpose in that area, throw it out or just give it away or whatever. By tomorrow, that area should be spick and span, free of dust and ready for you to sit and work at, okay? Next, then you're going to list down 3 things that you want to accomplish this week. Just 3. You can write these on a Notion doc, Word doc, pen or paper, whatever works for you. Write it down and keep it somewhere where it is visible. So maybe put it on your calendar. If you have a to-do list app, put it on that. I put it on Todoist. If you have a physical, like a bulletin board or something, put it on that. Just basically make it visible. And then starting tomorrow, you are going it off. Actually, check it off and let me know. Come back here in the comments and let me know that you've checked it off because I want to keep you accountable. So that was it for today's video. Make sure you do this task list that I've given you. That is your first step to beating this whole laziness era to the curb, kicking it to the curb. And remember that discipline is not about being perfect. It's about taking these little steps that turn you into a disciplined person, that eventually change your mindset and make you identify with being a disciplined person rather than identifying with being a lazy person, right? So go check out these 2 videos next. I will see you guys in the next one. If you haven't seen the previous one, check it out here. And I love you guys so much and I am rooting for you to get out of this era, get into your productive girl era. And let me know in the comments what videos you want to watch next. Okay, bye. See you.